What's everyone? This is Matt Mrozik, and this will be the Jagd Doga commission complete, finally. So this was built for my client Matt, who booked me, let's see, a year ago, like February I think it was. So here you go, Matt. It's finally done after almost a year and a half. Matt was super cool. He basically told me to take my time, which I took advantage of. And when he booked this, like I've mentioned this before, my world exploded with quarter scale figure statue commissions and stuff, and so this kept getting put on the back burner. And finally I told him I'll have it ready for Wonderfest. Well, Wonderfest, I leave, let's see, today is Monday, I leave on Wednesday. And I just finished this. The color's gonna go a little wonky right now because of the loud color scheme in the video, but I'm gonna take final pictures here in a second, which will show off the colors more accurately. So this is looking a little kind of blue. I'm gonna see if I can change it a little bit. Give me 1 second to play with this. So I may get wonky for a second. Hold on. It's trying to compensate for all the yellow green on the suit. I may not be able to get it very close. Let's see. I should be able to put my camera on tungsten and it should work, but we'll try this. That's a little closer. So this looks really, really good. Matt gave me full range, like do what you want. So from the get-go in my mind, I kind of had a theme in my head, which was kind of like a Japanese drifter car, kind of like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, if you ever saw that movie. Kind of had that in my mind, so I wanted something glossy, something kind of loud and vibrant. And this is by far my most ambitious, loud, colorful Gundam paint job ever. And I gotta say, it's probably my best. This and the Jagd Doga I did 2 years ago are very close as far as what I would consider my best paint jobs on a Gundam. I'm still going to play with this color. It's looking really pink. It's really bugging me. I don't know. Maybe I can play with it in post. I'm just going to put it back on auto, let it do its own thing. Sorry, guys. So I was working on a work in progress video the other day, and I never finished that work in progress video, so I'm not going to even post it. Basically, it was just showing you how I went off and I masked off the inside of the armors and stuff and painted those blue. Now, all the armor does come off. I've kind of advised Matt that it's relatively a tight fix. There's so much paint on this. Like the parts that come off easily would be like these little guys right here. Those come off relatively easily. But everything else nothing's glued on. None of the armor's glued on. The previous Jagd Doga I did, I glued all the armor on, simply because my client didn't care. But like if you were to take the skirts off, all the underside are painted this metallic blue, which really sets it off against this kind of loud, vibrant yellow green thing I got going on. So I knew I was going to do this this as the main color. This is basically, the undercoat is blood orange, and then I highlight it with a color called crap, it's not neon green, it's some sort of green color. It's like a highlighter yellow kind of green color, and with the orange undertone, it warmed it up a little bit, so it made it look really, really sharp. And then I did a video a while back on doing the hexagonal fade job, which looks fucking awesome. It looks so good. I'm glad I went through all that trouble to do it, because it looks phenomenal. The really tricky part with this build is the gloss coat, and this really just, gloss is tricky because unlike a flat coat, which will hide a lot of like little specks of dust and stuff like that, which that's why I use flat a lot, to be honest, because it hides a lot of stuff. Gloss coat shows everything. So after I did the initial paint job and I gloss coat everything before after I decaled everything, I went through and I sanded out the major specks of dust that I saw, and then when I went through and sprayed it again, I wanted to make sure I didn't have to sand and polish this all out, because that would take me weeks, to be honest, just so much time. It would take me 50 hours to sand and polish all this. So when I sprayed it on, I made sure to spray it on real wet, real slick, and it looks really good. It looks like glass for the most part. You can see all the reflections here, that it's just glaring right back at you. So that was really the trickiest part with this build, because like I built this kit before. This is a great kit, by the way. This is one of G-System's better kits. The engineering is good. It goes together well. It stands well on its own. It is semi-posable for everyone. Can you pose it? You can pose it a little bit because it uses part of the Bandai Perfect Grade Zaku frame. But with it being resin and heavy, and I don't recommend messing with these because they're not toys. They're models. These are meant to be displayed and looked at. They're not action figures. So this is kind of one of the color schemes where I always tell people don't throw too many colors on something because it looks kind of random. This has a lot of colors on it. This has more colors than I normally would do. I would typically do like the main color and an accent color and then some other little colors here, but this has like 3 main colors. It's got the yellowish green, the purple, and then it's got this metallic blue going on all over the place, which actually works really, really well. They all complement each other really, really well. So it works. And I got you can see all the candy red popping through on the pistons here. The only other red I have right here is where the cockpit would go. So today man, I've been working my butt off on this. So last night I worked till 3 a.m. The night before that I worked till 3 a.m. The night before that I worked till 4 a.m. So 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 a.m. And then I just finished this up a little while ago. Today I had to paint the thrusters, and I do some minor touch-ups here and there, but he's all done now. Looks really good. So I hope Matt likes it. What else can I talk about this? Decals. I put a lot of decals on it because again I was thinking like, Tokyo Drift would have, maybe like a race car, have a lot of decals on, and I love decals. I put a lot of decals on. What else? I just really love it. I love the hexagonal fade job. That's probably the most challenging part of the build. There's a few areas where the mask slipped a little bit, so I had to go through and I actually made individual hexagonal masks and would like mask over one hexagon and fix it. And then I did that on about a dozen of these little hexagons. And this is not a perfect paint job or a perfect build. None of mine are. There are little errors here and there, but like I said, once it gets all together and you look at it as a whole piece, it looks freaking phenomenal. This is going to look really good on the table at Wonderfest. I have Richard's display base over to the side here. I don't have it on the base right now because I want to show you the whole kit by itself. When I do final pics, I'll do a few photos of it on the base, simply for Richard. And what I like about, I'm going to talk about the base a little bit. One thing I like about the base is that it has the backdrop of the vector graph of this kit. I like the fact that you can take it off, because at Wonderfest what I'll probably do is display it without that backdrop, because when it's on there it's cool, but you can't see all this back there because you have that outline of the Jagd Doga, which prevents you from seeing all this detail. And for a modeling contest, it's important that people can see your piece all the way around. So I will say that this kit has more clear coat on it than your car does. It probably has the initial 2 coats, the decals, and then another 2 or 3 wet coats on top of that. It's very durable. There's actually some schmutz right here I need to take off. It's extremely durable. If this paint chips, I would be kind of surprised. It's durable. The paint that's not real durable is the frame paint. That's your standard Mr. Metallic and all that stuff. These just aren't, and in my opinion, those aren't really meant to hold up real well. Let me come in a little tighter. Show you some of the. So I also this morning I put in the LED, and there's a color changing LED back there. And actually, I got done it's like 3 a.m. I'm like, okay, all I gotta do tomorrow is the thrusters and the LED. For the life of me, I could not find this piece. I thought I lost it. This little part with the 3 holes. I was like, fuck. I got all this done, busted my ass, and I'm missing one piece. So I'm thinking to myself, well, what am I gonna do? I have to like make something or whatever. So my studio was a complete wreck. I took some photos of it. There's just shit everywhere from all the trying to get ready for Wonderfest. I still have to fix a Hulk. So I'm gonna do that tonight. Hopefully that won't take too long. But I'm gonna take a little break. I got some chores I gotta do around the house. But anyway, so I started cleaning up the studio, and right at about 3:30, I was like, okay, I've got to go to bed because I need to get up in like 3 or 4 hours and start working on this thing again. I found it. It's like, I know I saw it. I could have sworn I painted it, because I was painting. I had all the parts laid out on the table over here, all 300 of them, and I could have sworn I remember taking the part off. Because what I do as I'm painting and I'm putting everything on the skewers and using the sticks, I take inventory of the parts as I'm doing that. And if you work with a kit long enough, you know how many of each part you should have. And so I'd take inventory, and I could have just sworn that I remember taking that part off the skewer and putting it on the table with the rest, but apparently I didn't. It had fallen in the paint booth. It must have been, the paint must have been wet, 'cause it had fallen, bounced, and like stuck on the side of the workbench. It was like the most random place that I found it. I would have never found it if I tried. I was just cleaning up and I found it. So it got really, I was like, holy shit. So I slept better knowing that I had that piece. Now, Matt, when you watch this, I'm going to upload this video separate from the final photos, just because I want to get this video up for Matt. Typically, I would do this and tag it at the end with the final photos. I don't know if I'll take final photos today or not. I'm thinking about it. So, Matt, if I don't have final photos at the end of this, there'll be a separate gallery on Facebook. Let me just describe to you how to take this apart. I'm not going to do it on film. So, what is glued together and what's not glued together? So, when this gets shipped to you, more than likely, like, actually I can take these little panels off down here in the legs because those come off easily. So like this comes off. Actually, that came off pretty easily, and you can see, I can show you all that's painted in there blue. This part has a little bit of blue tack on it to keep it on, and then you can see some of the frame detail. So what's glued on? Like I said, none of the armor is glued on except for these little pieces right here on the side of the leg. So there's 4 of these, 1 on each side, and these are glued on, so those do not come off. The feet do not come off the legs. All the armor comes off. So more than likely, I'll probably take off the armor that's really loose and pack that separately. This little piece can come off, so you can see the thrusters. I know you said you want to display some of the panels off, so you got that option there. You can see all the details in there. And these can be a little tricky to get on sometimes. They kind of have to slide up in here, and they go between, let's see if it'll, come on, it's a trick. I may not be able to do it. There we go. Okay, so that's staying on pretty good, but like these little individual panels come off too. So like that. Oops. So like that's been painted all in there, all that nice metallic blue. So those come off. There's not a whole lot that's glued together, to be honest. The backpack is all one piece, and it is all glued to the torso, except for, let me get closer. So the backpack is all glued together. These are glued to the center, and that's glued to the torso, because the way it's wired, there's no way to take the backpack on and off unless I made little plugs. And they actually give you, they improved the wiring on this a little bit compared to the last one I did. And there's actually too much wiring. So like this little cap part can come off here. Well, you gotta take the button out first. So the button works. So turn it on and off. That's off. That's on. Off. On. The 3 batteries go up in here, Matt. And to replace that, you're gonna have to turn the thing upside down and use something like your fingernail and let me take this off the tripod real quick. And you're gonna have to take, sorry, I just got a PM on Facebook. I was trying to read it. Let me get a better exposure. This little panel right here comes off, and that's where the batteries are. Takes 3 batteries, and the types are LR44s. I bought 3. I bought 6 more to take to Wonderfest. If I have any extras that aren't used, I'll send them with you, or send them with this for you. Okay, now let me readjust my exposure. Okay, so that's pretty good right there. So sorry, so that's how you change the batteries. This has a little interesting detail here. I added metal cables for you, and I just did alternating gold and black, and that looked pretty good. So back to what's glued on. So these are glued on. This is all glued on. That's glued onto the backpack, or to the torso. I was going to show you that if you need to get into here, there's no reason to. You can take this button off, and this top part slides off. There's no reason to get in there. I do have the other face plate and horn over here, and you simply, it's real loose, so you just kind of have to fiddle with it. And I had the same problem with the last one. You take the horn off, take the face plate off, and then vice versa. That's how those work. The back part of the head stays on. Don't try to take that off. It can come off, but just leave it on. These armors come off for shipping, and if you want to show that inside, so both of those come off, and they kind of, you'll feel them just kind of click in place in there. They just kind of sit on top. So both those come off. The arms come off. These will come off like this. And what I did is I glued this part into the, I can show you the inside of the, I guess the binder or whatever you want to call this thing, with the fin funnels. Just again, I got a little brush touch up there I missed. So yeah, so I see a bunch of touch-ups as I go along. But yeah, so I accented with some chrome and brushed aluminum. So these will come off. The arms will come off. The shield comes off. That's just a magnet. I'll take some of it apart for you, but not all of it. So that's a magnet in there. You can see the inside of this all detailed too. Looking good. Just like that. Okay. Let's see. So then, yeah, so these will come off. The arms will come off. These will come off. The gun will come out of the hand. This is actually really love the hand design. They have two nice pegs that hold the gun extremely well, so you're not depending on the fingers to hold the gun. It's actually pegged in there really well. The legs will come off down below, and they'll come not out of the hip joint, but they'll come down. So that's how it'll come to you, and the side skirts come off. Let me take a skirt off and show you the inside of those. Those look pretty cool. All right, so here's one of the skirts. So instead of the hexagonal pattern, I just kind of did a fade job here to represent that same scheme. And then here's the back side. And that's all been detailed in there. That's all been detailed. So yeah, man, you know what took the longest was all this panel painting. That took forever. Like one of these skirts, one of these big leg skirts would take me an hour to mask, just one. So that was just, oops, good thing it's automotive paint. That was just so tedious, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get done. And that's just me trying to get done before Wonderfest, you know. So I'd actually break it up. I would do like 1 or 2 skirts, and then I'd go do something else for a little bit on this kit. Come on, get in there. All right. Okay, there we go. And then the torso will come off of the waist. So he'll come apart. So the legs come off, top torso comes off, arms come off, armors come off. You saw that the shield comes off, the gun will come off. The back skirt will not come off. It's glued on, so don't try to take it off. That's pretty much it. That's how it breaks down. But he looks really, really good. Man, this is my last Gundam commission, like, that I could probably ever. After doing figures for the past year, I forgot how many parts these things have and how just labor intensive they are. But the end results are worth it, man. He looks really good. And I think this would be, I'd be proud to have this in my collection, in my display. So there you go, Matt. He's all done. He looks phenomenal. So I hope you like him, and I'm sorry for the wait. Hope you think it was worth it. So I'll upload this video now, and I'll do final photos. I'll do final photos as a different video for that, just so people can see the accurate color, I think. But I changed my mind. I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go take a nap and then probably do final photos. But there he is, all done. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time. Bye.